their skill sets. Our show is about that, creating that awareness for them, but also giving them that feel good factor and that self-belief, where we kind of talk about core beliefs of individuals that maybe I'm not good enough because one person has said I'm not good enough, but that isn't always the case. People tend to kind of follow the route of assumptions based on talk about core beliefs of individuals that maybe I'm not good enough because one person said I'm not good enough, but that isn't.
Okay, I think we're getting feedback from somebody's YouTube being on, or a platform being on. Rana, are you?
I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Okay, so while we have this natural interruption, what I thought, Kirit, would you like me to translate into Gujarati a little bit of what we're doing here before we move any further? Kirit? Into Gujarati a little bit of what we're doing here before we move any further?
Yes, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay. So એટલે કે આજનો જે કાર્યક્રમ છે તે આપણે ખાસ કરીને મેન્ટલ હેલ્થ ડે એટલે કે વર્લ્ડ મેન્ટલ હેલ્થ ડે ના ઓકેઝન ઉપર આપણે પેલું રાખેલું છે. તો આમાં શું છે, ખાસ કરીને 3 વિષયની બાબતનો આજે ચર્ચા થવાની છે. એટલે કે મેન્ટલ હેલ્થ એટલે કે માનસિક સ્વાસ્થ્ય અને માનસિક આપણે કહી શકીએ કે માનસિક સલામતી, અને તેની ઉપરાંત આજની ચર્ચા થશે ખાસ કરીને કે આત્મહત્યા જે છે, જે આપણા સમાજમાં એવી વસ્તુ છે કે આપણે તે બાબતમાં તે વિષય ઉપર ખાસ બહારના માણસો સાથે વાત કરવા માટે આપણે આપણા સમાજમાં એમ કે ખૂબ સંકોચ રહે છે. અને આ બધી વસ્તુઓ આપણે અંદરમાં રાખીએ છીએ અને તેની જે અસર જે થાય છે તેમાંથીને જે ખાસ કરીને જે ડેમેજ થાય છે કે જે આપણને આપણા માનસિક સ્વાસ્થ્ય માટે એ કેટલું ખરાબ છે કે આપણે આ બધી વસ્તુઓ અંદર આપણે રાખીએ છીએ, કોઈની સાથે વાત નથી કરી શકતા, બહુ સંકોચ. એટલે તે બાબતમાં અને ખાસ કરીને ડોમેસ્ટિક અબ્યુઝ એટલે કે આજે આધાર જે સંસ્થા છે તે ડોમેસ્ટિક અબ્યુઝ ઉપર પણ ખૂબ જ ઘણી બધી સર્વિસીસ આપે છે. એટલે કે તે બાબતમાં કેવી રીતે સલામત રહેવું, એ આપણને જ્યારે કોઈ ઘરમાં એટલે કે ઘરમાં મારપીટ થાય છે અથવા તો ઘરનો માનસિક ત્રાસ રહે છે, તો એ બાબતમાં આપણે કેવી રીતે કોની પાસે જવું વાત કરવા માટે. તો આ આધાર જે સંસ્થા છે તે ખાસ આ બધી આ 3 વસ્તુઓ માટે થઈને ખાસ કરીને તમે તેની પાસે જઈ શકો છો સપોર્ટ અને આધાર લેવા માટે. તો અત્યારે જે રાણાજી છે એ પોતે એક આર્ટિસ્ટ છે, પોતે એક મ્યુઝિશિયન છે, એટલે કે સંગીતકાર છે, અને તેમને એક ખાસ એમની દૃષ્ટિકોણ છે કે કોઈ બીજા કોઈ પણ આર્ટિસ્ટ હોય અથવા તો કોઈ સંગીતકારો હોય કે કોઈ જે કોઈ મ્યુઝિકમાં હોય કે કોઈ પણ આર્ટ્સમાં હોય, તે લોકો આવી અને મેન્ટલ હેલ્થ એટલે કે માનસિક સ્વાસ્થ્યને આપણે કેવી રીતે સુધારવું આપણા સમાજમાં, તે બાબતમાં મ્યુઝિકનો ઉપયોગ કેવી રીતે કરવાનો, અને જનરલી આપણે આ બધી વાતુઓ કેવી રીતે ખુલાસાથી આપણે વાત કરી શકીએ છીએ, કોની સાથે કરી શકીએ છીએ, તે બાબતમાં આજની ખાસ ચર્ચા છે. અને જે સરોજબેન છે તે તેમને પોતાનો પુત્ર આત્મહત્યા શું કહે આપણે કે શી ઇઝ લોસ્ટ હર સન ટુ સુસાઇડ, તો તે બાબતમાં વાત કરવાના છે. Back to you, Rana. Sorry, I get a little moved in getting present to your story, Saroj. Rana, back to you. Okay, Rana, did you want to say any more? Okay, you're done. Awesome. All right, so before we go any further, આ વસ્તુ એક એવી છે કે ખાસ એમ કે આપણને થોડા દિલને થોડા આંચકો લાગે તેવી વાતો છે તો કિરીટભાઈ કહે છે કે આપણે થોડું પ્રાણાયામ અને થોડું એમ કે એવી રીતે આપણે થોડી 10 મિનિટ માટે પ્રાણાયામ ને થોડા બ્રીથિંગ પ્રેક્ટિસિસ કરીએ અને પછી આપણે પ્રોગ્રામને આગળ વધારશું. So we're going to do some breathing practices now. And just because this whole issue that we're talking about, this whole issue that we're talking about can be very, intense and moving. And many of you perhaps will resonate with Soroji's story that is about to come up. And what I'd like to do is to get everybody a little bit centered and just get a sense of calm and peace as we move into the program. So let's everybody bring, just take a breath into the body, just relax, sit quietly and relax. And I'm going to guide you into 2 or 3 different types of pranayam practices. So first of all, I would really just like you to close your eyes and listen to my voice as I guide you into taking a breath and relax the shoulders. Just sit comfortably in your seat and take a breath in. Inhale. Just take a normal inhale and see if you can lengthen the breath into the heart center. So inhale the breath and just exhale through the nose and just relax a little bit deeper into the body. Sink a little deeper into your seat. See if you can soften your neck. Maybe take a couple of neck twirls to see if you can find a way of releasing any tension in the neck or in the shoulders. Couple of circles one way and then the other way. And just interlace your fingers, just bring your hands to the back of your head, bring the elbows to the side, lengthen the spine and rooting into the sit bones, just lift the head and then bring the elbows inwards and then bring your chin to your collarbone. And then as you open the elbows, inhale, take the chin to sky. Just relax the hands behind your head so you can lift the chin. And then as you exhale, bring the chin to the collarbone. Inhale, lift the chin to sky. Exhale, maybe you'll bring the elbows parallel to each other or closer towards each other as you bring the chin to the collarbone and just release. And so breathe into the body. We're going to do Vellum Meditation. So I'd like you to just inhale, and we're going to inhale in parts. No exhale until the very end. So Vellum Meditation, you're inhaling from the root into the navel. Inhale from the root to the navel, from the bottom of the spine. Inhale into the navel. Hold. Inhale navel to the heart center. Hold. Inhale heart to throat. Hold. Inhale throat to the third eye. Hold. And exhale fully. Exhale through the mouth. Beautiful. Inhale root to navel. Hold. Inhale navel to heart. Hold. Inhale heart to third eye, to throat. Hold. Throat to third eye. And hold. And exhale all in one go. Beautiful. Again, inhaling root to the navel. Hold. Inhale navel to the heart. Hold. So we're filling the lungs in parts. Inhale heart to the throat. Hold. Inhale throat to the third eye and hold. And exhale fully. Beautiful. Let's do Anulom Vilom. So we're going to bring the thumb to the right nostril. We're going to bring the third eye to the left. And we're going to turn the first 2 fingers, if possible, inward into your palm, or you're going to place them on the third eye. So Relax the elbow. If the elbow gets tired, use the other hand just to support the elbow. Press into the right nostril. Fingers in. Breathe in through the left nostril. Inhale. 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 Close both nostrils and hold. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale through the right. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale right. Inhale for 1. Inhale for 2. Inhale for 3. Inhale for 4. Close and hold. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale left. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale left. Inhale for 1. Inhale for 2. Inhale for 3. Inhale for 4. Close and hold. Your awareness to the third eye or to the crown. Exhale right. Relax the shoulders. Sit a little deeper into your seat. And inhale from the right. Draw the breath in slowly, smoothly, in equal parts. Keep lengthening the breath and close and hold. Just allow the awareness to be still. Exhale left. And as you exhale, allow the breath to leave very smoothly in very equal measures, all the way, lengthening, smooth, long breath. Exhale. Inhale left. Relax and close both nostrils and hold. Just allow your inner gaze to become very, very steady, inward, on one point. Exhale right. Allow the breath to be very calm. Remember, there's a lot of breath. There's no need to rush. There's no need to force. There's no need to do anything other than stay calm and allow peace to start becoming a state of mind. Inhale through the right again. And hold. And slowly, smoothly, long exhale through the left. Beautiful. And so we're now going to just breathe in from one side only. So inhale through the left. Close and hold. Anta Kumbhak. Exhale through the left again, same side as you inhaled. Close and hold, Bahya Kumbhak. Inhale left. Relax into the body. Allow the breath to become longer, softer, smoother. Close and hold. Soften the face, soften the mouth. Soften your hold. Exhale through the left. Rechak. Close and hold on the empty. This time open right, inhale right. And relax into your breath. Allow the breath to be nourishing, nurturing. Draw the breath a little longer. Close and hold. Exhale right. Close and hold on Bahya Kumbhak, external, Empty breath. Inhale right. Just allow the lungs to continue to receive the breath. Keep filling the lungs to the tips. Close and hold. And release the breath through the right again. Let the length of your exhale be very, very long, very soft, very smooth, calm and peaceful. Close and hold. See if you can sense the calming down of the conversations, internal conversations, the chatter of the mind, and release the hands. Inhale, normal breath. Beautiful. So we're going to move now to Maya. And Maya, I would like you to talk about Maya 24 film, and tell us a little bit about your work, and especially with Saroj and making this movie. Over to Maya. She there? Maya, are you there? Okay, Kirit, please help. Do we have Maya with us?
Yes.
Hello. Hi, can you hear me? Hi.
I can hear you now, Maya. Thank you.
Yeah, it's all right. Hi, everyone. Hello. My name is Maya, and I'm independent filmmaker, and I'm running my own film production company. It's called Maya 24 Private Limited. It is UK registered film production company, and I'm passionate about the making human stories, and especially for the documentaries and a short film. And very recently, we finished the Breaking the Silence documentary series around the mental health. And one of the stories, the Saroj story, directed to my son. And yes, we are passionate about working with the new people and organization. And I'm so pleased, just I finished Breaking the Silence documentary series. And today I launched one of the stories called An Unapologetic Shift around the mental health and who lost someone life. And yeah, that's all.
Beautiful. Thank you for that introduction, Maya. Is there anything else that you'd like to share? You work with Saroj on the film, did you?
Yes, and I think we finished that story, and we finished in 2018, and this year we launched Diary to My Son, and I think I've been there, and how we met in one of the charity event, and a mental health charity event. That's the time I heard Saroj story, and then I've been there so many times to get to know them, and especially with the Sapna and Saroj daughter. And yeah, and we trust each other. As a filmmaker, it's a little bit challenge for me, especially for this subject, to get to know the people and close to them, especially for as a filmmaker. And yeah, finally I done under the few stories, and I'm hoping to in the future to work with so many organizations and related to the health side, especially for the mental side, any kind of inspiration documentaries. And because as a filmmaker, I notice that's the way we can reach out so many people and who are suffering in silence.
Tell me a little bit about what struck you in working with Saroj in particular, with regards to her experiences, her issue. What were your takeaways from making that documentary with her?
Yeah, it's a little bit close to my heart also. Then I thought, and as a filmmaker, I have a responsibility to do and reach out to about the mental health, and it is really heartbreaking, especially for the, I noticed there are so many people when I did the research about this mental health, and then I noticed there are so many, especially there are some of my colleagues and friends and who's suffering for the mentally and who can't talk with their parents, and then I thought that's the good way to do the Saroja stories and bring them up to spreading message and break the silence, and I want to make inspiring their story to other parents and knowledge about the mental health and educating especially for the parents, and recognize for the symptom of the mental health, and yeah, that's where I think it's really work out. And after I'm launching the 3 documentaries around the mental health within the British South Asian people, and there's so many people reach out, and so many people came to me also, and just try to make them to open up and make them to relax to talk them, and most of the people they thinking, the mental health or depression, it is like a private matter that they keep themselves not to talk anyone. But the most of when I researched that mental health, especially for the British South Asian people, then I noticed most of the people and afraid of to talk about their feelings because of they think other people will judge them, and that's the biggest problem too. And then I thought, and I just better, I'm so pleased for the Saroj stories. Look at how she's sharing her personal story, very private and emotional and personal story with us, and then make other parents to open up and keep an eye for their children, what's the going on in the house, and recognize their symptoms. And that's all.
Thank you for sharing that amazing work that you're doing.
Oh, thank you.
Saroj, I would like to invite you to unmute yourself and to share, what that has you share your story. And as you're sharing your story, what have you found, has been showing up as you're going around sharing, your experiences with the community?
Yeah. Firstly, I'd like to say thank you for having myself and my daughter here on the show today, and a big thank you to Kirit and yourself and to our beautiful Maya. How it all started is when Maya sort of approached me first, and we spoke on the phone, and then she sort of invited, we've invited to see each other face to face. And we felt that, Maya felt that she wanted to do a story on, based on ours, what we were experiencing. And at first I thought, would it be a marketing, video or whatever? So, because I didn't want that, I really wanted someone who could understand us. And when we actually met Maya face to face, she actually captured moments and was very honest and understanding. So, we worked together, and I think what she took part of her, part of my story to her heart is that she understood us. Mm-hmm. And like Maya said, I mean, obviously with our South Asian community, there are a lot of judgmentals. I used to, when I used to walk on the streets, I used to be up with a few people I haven't seen them for ages, and the questions they used to ask me is, oh, why did this happen to your son? Was there a problem? Were you the cause of it? It's there's so many stigma, there was so much judgmental things. So it's like I thought, after speaking to my daughter, I thought, you know what? I think we should actually sort of put our story out. It's not for publicity or anything like that. It's awareness, and that's what we wanted to make sure that our South Asian community, you know, they can understand, I've lost my son, I'm never going to get him back, but you know what, if I can save another life by just sharing my story, letting, you know, anyone, like from youngsters, from young age to, you know, to elderly, they can understand, so they can start having talks on their dining table around the family, you know, have that communication within the Asian communities, that, you know, they feel like, you know, they don't need to sort of feel like they cannot talk to their families, you know, if there's a problem, let's talk about it and things like that. So when Maya actually put everything together, it actually captured everything that we wanted to say about this video. So I was really grateful for Maya to doing this. Like I said, it captured so many things. I did come across a few other parents who have actually lost, within the South Asian community, who've lost their children to suicide as well. And whenever I sort of start, because I wanted to do my own things, like, you know, obviously to do my own community work, I did ask some of the parents, would you like to join me? And, you know, we can sort of go around talking around to schools, community centres, colleges, universities, even workplace, you know, just to get them, just for that experience. But the thing is, they were really taken back. They said, no, we don't want to share our story. And I do understand, everyone has their own, you know, opinions and things like that. But I think what they were really afraid of is the stigma. They just felt, I don't know if it's the right word to say, but it's not embarrassed. It's just they didn't want to talk about it.
Shame. Would you say shame is the word?
I would say
a sense of failure, a sense of shame.
You see, it's really hard because I don't want to really diagnose the words, but it's like they didn't feel right to talk about it because they didn't want the community or the family members to sort of, you know, put them down. So there is a lot of stigma, and I feel that there should be a platform, at least, you know, we should be able to speak out, we should be heard. So there is a platform for, you know, for everyone from young to elderly to understand mental health.
Yes. So thank you for sharing that, Saroj. When did you actually lose your son? How many years are we talking now? How long ago was this? How old was it at the time?
Yeah, it was 3.5 years ago. So 16th of April, 2017. So it was just really
2 years ago.
Yeah, 3.5 years ago. Not every day is a challenge for us. It's not easy.
How old? I can imagine. I can completely imagine that. It never. I mean, one doesn't know how you move forward from that. It's clearly a challenge. So, how old was he at the time?
He was 19 years old, going on to be 20 the following month.
Okay, so he was at university, or?
He was at university studying. You know, he just showed a very happy personality. Nobody noticed there was something wrong with him because he would hide. Obviously, he must have hidden things, but it's just that we felt like, you know, he would come home and just start laughing, joking with us. You know, we didn't notice any personality changes.
Yes.
He did go quiet for 1 or 2 days, but then I just thought, you know, it's probably a university thing. If there was a problem, he would have reached out. That's what I kept on thinking.
Yes.
Yes,
and that's the other thing, isn't that's one of the issues that people have in a situation like this as a family member, that, you know, you think, but he seemed normal. He seemed normal. He could have talked to us. Why didn't he? What was going on for him that you were not present to? It's like a whole world of questions open up inside of that. And how, what do you, as a first-hand experience, you know, how do you address that? How was it for you? Probably it's probably more relevant to ask. How was it for you when you realized that there was something gravely wrong, that he were clearly in his world that had him take a step like that?
You know, we are looking for clues. We're looking for information. It's, you know, we're never going to find it. I think even if his friends couldn't identify if there was something wrong with him, and if we couldn't as family members or neighbors, it's it's just something that we will never know why.
Understood. Completely get that. It's a big conundrum. When something like that happens in a normal home, it's it leaves you with questions probably for a lifetime. Can you introduce your daughter? What's her name? How old is she?
My name is Sapna.
What's your name?
Sapna.
Welcome, Sapna. How are you doing, Sapna? How are you doing today?
I'm all right. I'm a bit nervous, but yeah.
Yeah. And how has it been for you to be without your brother?
Very difficult. Like, it's so hard to find friends because it's not a thing that you want to talk about to others. So I was quiet, so with my friends. So, yeah.
So do you feel that it's because people don't resonate with what your experience is, they don't understand? What is it that has you not talk about it?
Like, I was very quiet at school, didn't make no friends, didn't want to talk to anyone about this because I've been through that much, and I was like, I don't want to talk.
Yes.
So, and they don't understand, and well, yeah.
Do you how is it for you to put words to what you're feeling at times? Do you find that that's a challenge itself, to kind of get identify, pinpoint exactly what's going on for you?
So is that to me or my daughter?
To Sapna in particular.
Oh, okay.
She's so young, yeah.
How do you feel, basically?
Do you find that it's difficult to articulate what's going on in your inner world? To put words to what you're feeling?
How do you feel? I think she's a bit quiet. The thing is, right, I mean, obviously, one good thing is that she speaks to me. She's able to speak to me. It was a time for her that she felt, very emotional. She did go down one hill one time, that she felt like self-harming herself as well. So, I mean, obviously, one good thing is that she actually approached me, and I straight away got onto the doctors, the counselling. We got the school support. So there were platforms for her to sort of, reach out. And she wanted that. She wanted help for herself. One, because obviously she's going through a grievance process. And I think what it is also, she stopped communicating with her friends. She started, isolating herself from others. Would you say that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. So it's incredible to, have you have the courage, Sapna, to join us and, to actually engage in this conversation with the intention to actually share your experiences, but to also to take on that there's a healing for you to undertake, and to undertake the journey of healing for yourself. So really, I mean, to say congratulations or to, proud of you and so stuff, it sounds a little patronizing, because it is just so immense what you guys are confronting on a daily basis. Suraj, what do you find as what is your structure for support in dealing with this? Do you have a structure for support? Are there people, organizations that you avail of to help you to tap into?
Definitely. I actually attend a very good support group where we actually meet up either via Zoom, because obviously COVID-19, but there used to be every month we used to meet up and we used to talk about mental health. And it was aimed from 18 years old to older people as well. So it was a good platform for me to get some information, work with great people who knew about mental health, And I think I also started, just learning, taking on a couple of courses and counseling, just to get some ideas. So it was like not just helping myself, but also helping my daughter. And also, like, if somebody was to approach me, I've done a few talks in the community centres, even at work, just to go out and just see if I can, help them. I'm not a professional, but I feel like if I can, give support, or maybe just guide them to a good, a good place where they need guidance, I'm happy to do.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So thank you so much for sharing all those things. I think what would be really amazing is to actually take a look at the screening. Is this the first time you're screening this documentary, or have you screened it before elsewhere?
I've seen it.
Yeah. So let's do that. I'm going to hand over to Indrani or Kirit to share the documentary now. Please, everybody, please mute yourself.
Indrani is here.
Beautiful.
I think about him all the time. His memory follows me round like my shadow. I want you back. Sometimes I see a moment in the side of my eye, but when I turn around, there's nothing there. It's driving me crazy.
Sometimes I see a moment in the side of my eye,
But I feel him close. I know he wants to say something, but that line is stopping us communicating.
feel him close. I know he wants to stay.
I do try and get out as much as possible.
Line is stopping us.
The more I sit at home, the more I think about what happened. But there is no escaping the memories. I carry them with me. I feel guilty if I don't think about him constantly.
No escaping the memory.
I hide it well from everyone. I'm okay. Really, I'm not.
Think about him constantly.
I cry alone because I don't want to share. 5 days after my marriage, seemed like I've married a stranger. Things started going very, very difficult for me, and started intaking a lot of alcohol, and that's when the abusive started happening. When I say abusive, it means like verbally and physically. Sometimes I ask myself, why did I put him first? I had to, because I thought about my parents. I didn't want our Asian community sort of, labeling them, saying that your daughter just got married and already a broken marriage. So I thought to myself, I need to stay in this marriage. But it didn't get easier. I was pregnant and the abusive still carried on. I was getting really mentally affected. When my son was born, as he was growing up, he watched his dad do this to me, and his father sort of just kept on drinking. When my daughter was born, things weren't that easy at all. Still the same thing happening. Her brother used to sort of just take her away to the room just to protect her from seeing the abuse that's happening to me. And then later on, their father sort of just kept on brainwashing the children. It came to a stage while in my marriage that I had to get out of this situation. Not even thinking about my children. I went to a busy road. I just felt like I wanted to end my life because I just couldn't continue. I was really, really mentally affected. But just then, I don't know what happened. Someone out of the car really sort of horned really loud. I don't know what happened. I didn't even cross the road, but it's just sort of really sort of got my attention. What am I doing? Why am I here? What about my children? What's going to happen afterwards? And I knew I had to stop myself. One day, I think it just got really enough that, you know, what's going to happen afterwards? It just happened again, the physical, and I just had to call the police just to escort him away. And I knew that that was the end of my marriage. It was Easter Sunday. And I knew that was the end of my marriage. 16th of April 2017. It was Easter Sunday. My son decided to take his own life. Being a single mom, it's not easy, but having your child saying that, you know, Mom, you're not a mom alone. You're a father, you're a brother, you're a sister, and a best friend. Means the world to me. I know I'm doing something right. What hurts is that if I'm all these things for Sapna, there shouldn't have been a reason for my son to leave either, because I know he loved us. Even the day he decided to take his life, he was so organized. He left everything, like instructions, his passwords, his details of what everything should be. He didn't want us to feel like, you know, we won't be able to manage. Even in his suicide notes, he kept on saying, Mom, please don't blame yourself. I'm so sorry. It's written to someone saying, you are so beautiful and I'm going to be with you always, and that's my promise. I think it's been very difficult for us. It's a journey, but it's not. Seeing his dad abusing me, he found that very difficult to understand, and he couldn't be able to stop what was happening. I think he was hurting himself a lot. He himself experienced bullying when he was in a primary school. And then sort of like, you know, seeing the separation that's happened, and then suddenly a hardship of, you know, financially we suffered after the separation of the marriage. I think my son, I think we all actually, so that we were all stressed. We just weren't coping well.
My parents split up, and I felt weak and I lost myself all the time. I broke up, like felt down. And in high school I was bullied, so I changed schools, and guess what happened? My brother passed away. I just want to be alone, not socializing. I'm finding it difficult for my studying. Firstly, I don't address him to my dad. He failed to support me, and I started hating him. I was crossing down the street. It was early morning, and I just don't really care if I was like
Crossing dangerously, that's what you said to me.
yeah. And I just still walked on, and yeah.
I think I was really shocked when you actually came and told me. This is a couple of days she told me, she goes, Mom, I did something silly. And she said to me, I did crossing this road dangerously without looking at if there's cars coming or not. My world broke down. I thought, oh my God. When she spoke to me, she said to me, Mom, I'm having these thoughts. I want to self-harm. And I said, what do you mean by self-harm? She goes, I want to cut my arms. I was so devastated when she said that. I just felt like I was shocked. But I know that she needed me, so I said, oh, we're going to seek help. So we spoke to your school, we spoke to the doctors, we spoke to counselling, and we all worked as a team. I've got to be a stronger person here. Forget about my depression, let's just focus on her. And I had to be that person to help her. But as a mother, I would do that. But you know, you need to get this fear out of you. Like you said, you will never leave me. And I've kept my promise to you. I want you to keep your promise to me. Yeah. I was suffering a lot of anxiety after my son passed away. I couldn't go back to work, so I stopped work completely. I think stress was just coming on. When someone actually went back to school, it was difficult for her. She couldn't socialise. I think we were afraid to go out, even though I had medication for antidepressant. It's so difficult because you don't feel the same, and your emotional just is sort of mixed up. Financially wise, my family did help me a little, but it wasn't enough. I still feel like financially wise, I was really unstable and felt embarrassed asking, for more handouts. Came to a time that I had to go back into work, but I was just too scared, so I started doing some voluntary work. And I think that's helped me to go into doing part-time work.
There's mixed emotions that I'm feeling: angry, sad, upset, anxiety the most. And it's really hard to focus on my studying, and it affected my studying as well.
We talk a lot. I think that's definitely have to be as priority number one. When the time my son passed away, she was really scared. She wouldn't go up or down the stairs. She was afraid because that's the scenery, that's where it happened. We both didn't see it, but it's you sometimes visualize and imagine, and I think that's what scared Sapna a lot. So I said, no, I've got to do something. So I decided to draw on the staircase wall. Started off, and then it just continued. And I think Sapna started liking what I was drawing. And I think with that, she started getting more confident going up and down the stairs. So it's helped us in that way. And now when we go up and down the stairs, we always look at this painting on the wall, because it's like something magical, something spiritual.
And it takes my mind away from that.
Yeah. So it's helped us that way. I think also for me, it's, you've seen me, I've started writing a diary for my son. I find that this is the only way I can communicate with him. I know you sort of communicate with him, with Sadil's friends, through photographs in this room. But for me, I feel like if I write this diary, it's like I'm talking to him. I'm speaking to him. I'm asking him questions. And I'll probably hear his voice answering back to me. So I really feel strongly that this diary is very important for me. By the staircase, we've got candles, 3 candles. They're actually on the feather plate. And those 3 feather plates resembles us 3. That's where I lost my son. When he decided to take his life, I feel that spiritually he's left there. His eyes closed there. That was the last time he saw this world.
Do you remember your 40th birthday that Shakul made a voice recorder? Do you want to hear it?
Mom, they say 40 is the old age of youth. However, with you, youth never dies. You always find new ways to invent fun in many spontaneous ways. The best thing about the future is that they come one day at a time, and we all know throughout each of those days, you've given us the best memories that we can cherish until our last breath. Mom, we may argue, but at the end of the day, I love you. Everyone is here for you on your special day. Don't let anyone bring you down. Keep that smile on your face, and you always look 21.
Oh my God. Do you remember yours?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
let's hear that.
Hi, Mummy, you're getting old now, and I have to take care of you, okay? I will always love you and take care of you. I will help you open your presents, Mom, and if it's pink, it's mine, okay? Happy birthday, Mom. I love you. You're the best.
Oh, I love you, baby.
Love you too. One of my best one is he came home to surprise me, and the one he surprised me was the Lego movie game,
I remember
and
that.
I was so happy and excited. So we played that game and we bonded in this game, and I loved it so much. That was my best.
Do you know, we had really good times with him. We used to do lots of barbecues here as well.
Yeah, I still remember the days. That was like all cousins gathering around, and we had fun.
What's he trying to
Remember
do?
this one here? He's trying to push me off here.
Yeah. He succeeded.
No, excuse me. I almost fell down.
Yeah, but you know that he is going to hold on to you anyway. Oh, this is a time when I did this to your hair, and then he said to me, "No, Mom, can you do my hair just like you know, Sapna?" And I said, "Oh, okay." See, looked like a real girl there. I remember this picture. You two were trying to push me off.
Yeah, I remember that bit. That was so funny.
Oh God, the memories. Look at that. Oh right.
Yeah, that was my best picture.
Hold on. Who are these?
Face swap.
Oh God, you and your face swap. I think
Yeah.
the strong opinion about him that his star sign being a Taurus, he really had strong opinions on like proving to the point. He was really like interested in maths and physics. I could say he loved engineering.
And building stuff.
You know, he really loved building things. He was a character that, you know, a really fun-loving person.
So basically, this was my birthday, sweet 16th birthday.
Gift.
A gift from my brother's friend.
It's just a little voice captured in this monkey, and it's special for us. We did get actually emotional.
I got emotional, and it all spread it around to other people.
Do you want to?
Yeah.
I love you. Everyone is here for you on your special day. Don't let anyone bring you down. Keep that smile on your face.
You were and still my hero. I love you and I miss you. It wasn't your time to go.
The biggest impact in my life now is to educate myself and my daughter, to contribute positively to the world.
If I was compared to my mum and dad, my dad is not in the picture, but my mum is my mum, my father, my sister, my brother, and my best friend, and she's my world.
Oh, bless. I just asked God to protect my children always, but I think I lost that faith now. He took away my world. I'd like to thank my son for choosing me to be his mother. It's the best gift given to me. Not even death can take this away from me. We started getting involved with a charity, Walking Out of Darkness. It's related to mental health and suicide. We don't do it alone. We've got family and friends who join us on this walk. It's a 10-mile walk we carry out once every year.
My sister's son, Sadil, passed away. You know, it's his birthday today, and for us, we want to support my sister. We want to support the charity, the cause, and just we want to mark a statement, you know, for his birthday, and just make people aware about this issue.
My cousin's birthday, who would have been 22 today, and I just feel that I've been here for the past 3 occasions, and I want to carry on coming to show that that there is this illness that is basically happening, and just because you can't show the physical deformities, physical deformities, the illness is still there. A lot of people suffer from this. And I was shocked after my cousin's death back in 2017 to learn that basically it's the top killer among men under 45, and it's just changed my life really. Just really felt that I needed to support the cause.
The friends, you know, who he's actually connected with, they haven't broken that bond with me and Sapna. And we feel like, so sort of walk in, it feels like they're my children. And it's, you know, it's just a wonderful feeling. As a mother, I would do the same, you know, I wouldn't let them leave without eating something.
We were talking about memories and every pictures. And yeah, we still tease him about the places that he would go, like especially food.
Even though my son's not here, but his friends keep him alive because nobody else liked to talk about him. And I think it's lovely that they do come around, and I do appreciate them. We used to walk around this woodland, and we used to run, you know, try to race each other, and I think those were the best moments. Try to recapture the memories that we shared with him there. I think with Sapna, because she wants to go into sports, she's trying to train me to run and trying to keep me fit and healthy. It's not working, but slowly. I think going to that park is having that full of memories of Sadil and trying to keep that bond. It's helped us through therapy as well. I think another way I try to keep his memory alive is when I'm alone at home, I get his aftershave and I spray just in the room so I could just smell his presence. I'm so attached to one of his jumpers. I would hug that jumper. I would have the music on and I would just sort of dance with him, that jumper hugging me. I don't want to forget him because he's my baby boy. I just want his memories to be alive. I don't want to forget him. I don't want anyone to forget him. I'll probably end up doing silly things like, you know, play his music, or, you know, I'll even read a book, a storybook that I've kept, Peter Rabbit's, and I read to him. I sing him a lullaby. I do cry alone, but it's just my way of saying that, you know, I love him and I will always do. If he came in front of me, I wouldn't let him go because it wasn't his time to go. He's probably realised he's made a mistake and he's just thought, you know, he was needed.
I will hug him. I will miss him. A father is supposed to be the one man in your life that will never hurt you. Don't make the same mistake as my father did.
I will grieve forever, but you have a choice to learn and understand mental health. I think talking and discussing regularly to your child, it's very important. It's also important around family and communities. So let's be open and don't judge anyone or let anyone judge you.
Yeah, so whenever we come here, it's not like he's gone, he's still here with us and we're still communicating with him and we can still feel his presence. So it's nice being here, feel relaxed, and we don't feel like he's missing out. He's still here with us, sharing the memories with us.
Sadil was a very beautiful man. I'm going to go on record and saying that he was. Yeah, he was really handsome. I'm not going to lie. He was a very friendly person. When we first met him, everyone seemed to have loved him from the start. When I first met him, I was in year 7 in primary school in Harrow. We
do miss him a lot. I mean, he's not here, obviously. But we would like him here, obviously. But yeah, so we do miss him a lot, which is obviously breaks our heart that he's not here.
He never showed any signs of it. Whenever he entered the room, he was laughing. He was making everyone else laugh. Like, as soon as he came into the room, you had that atmosphere of it's time to party kind of thing because he was here. But like, just even talking to him, he was never like down, sad. He would make us happy when we're like that. But we all had it in our back of our heads. We knew about mental health, but with him, nothing really came of it, thinking he was that kind of down inside, really.
Make you laugh, make you smile, flirt with you. He would flirt with anyone, like one of us, one of them, one of them.
Boys as well.
He just to make that person laugh, he would do that. Just go that extra mile. You wouldn't expect it to happen. And like Taz said, it is in the Asian community. It's not there. You don't see depression or mental health. It's kind of hidden away. Whereas now, this has happened. We're all more aware of it. If we see the signs for it, we want to help other people, and we want other people to know that there is help out there for you.
We often come here even just to like spend time with Sapna. Like, we make her laugh. We come and we do the exact same thing that we were doing with Sadil, but with now with her, like, she's become our little sister, and like he was our brother. She's now like a part of our friendship group, and it's just really nice to like. She's his mini-me, and we see that like she does things that he does, and like it's just really nice like remembering that. And even in this room, it's just, oh my gosh, she just made that face that he just had, kind of thing.
I agree. Yeah, she laughed last month, and she looked exactly like Sadil that time. I was happy when I saw that.
Just main thing is not to keep it in, let it out somehow. Even if it's a stranger on the road, go speak to them, because you never know, that stranger might be able to help you in some one way or another. So yeah, just don't keep it in, speak to someone. That's the main message.
Because you've got friends and family everywhere that you can speak to, and although it is a taboo subject with the Asian community, you should be able to talk to your mum or your father or your siblings about it. I still go around thinking about him every day. It was worse when it was closer to his date of death. I would always look on my phone and think about calling him, because I'd call him a lot, I'd talk to him a lot, I'd ask him what's happening in his life. And even nowadays I think, oh, I want to go out, but then, you know, it hits me like when I've just opened my phone and I realise that he's not there anymore. Yes.
Wow, look at this, guys.
Oh wow, that's beautiful.
Stop looking. Come on, Sadil, take it.
Can we not slow?
And then that 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, yeah.
Oh, perfect. Go. Oh, that is so cool. Look at that. Even the stars are up tonight. Look at it. That's so cool, right? Oh, bye. Should go up. So don't take it. Yes, it's going up. Up.
Love you, Nikro.
Miss you.
Wow. Thank you for your support.
We're always here for you. You know that.
Anytime.
You know we're always here for you.
You're on mute, Smita. You're on mute.
Can I ask everybody to mute themselves, please?
You're on mute, Smita. You're on mute.
I'm sorry? You can hear me now, everybody? Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Can I ask everybody to mute themselves, please? I can hear a little bit of echo in the background, Kirit. That's better. No. I've changed my mic. It wasn't me earlier. I think there was an echo in the background. Somebody's got double. Maybe you've got two PCs going or a double. Two transmissions going, anybody? Just make sure you don't have that. Otherwise, we're hearing this sound in the background. Two transmissions going, anybody? Just make sure you don't have that. Otherwise, Kirit? Can you hear the sound? Okay. So that was an incredibly moving documentary, and I want to invite the panel very shortly to ask questions or to share anything that resonated with you in that documentary. But I'd just like to share with Saroj and Sapna some of the comments in the chat. So earlier, Mita Mystery was saying that she's so sorry for your loss, Saroj, and thank you for sharing your heartfelt story. Sky Sharma is a charity set up by a lady called Neelam, who also sadly lost her son to suicide. And she says that she can connect you both if you wish to her. Kamla Patni said, thank you, Saroj, for being brave and sharing your story with us. And there's a link there, Saroj, from Mita with regards to Sky Sharma. Indrani says, Saroj and Sapna, you're both brave and you're standing up for so many people. Wonderful, so proud of you. Mita said it's so hard to find people who understand and so much stigma around this subject. I hope you find safe spaces where you can open up, and so on. So there are many, many comments here. Saroj and Sapna, I do invite you to take a look at the chat when you can. But let me ask people in the audience to just let me know in the chat who would like to ask a question, who would like to share something. अच्छा आप सौ जे आधार સાથે જોડાયેલા છો તમારામાંથી ને આપમાંથી કોઈને પણ કઈ સરોજબેન માટે અથવા સપનાબેન માટે કઈ પૂછવું છે કઈ તમારે કઈ શેર કરવું હોય તો પ્લીઝ આપણે આ થોડી ચર્ચા થઈ છે અત્યારે તો તમે તમારા કઈ સવાલો હોય તો તમે પૂછી શકો છો.
હેલો બેન, હું છે ને આધારમાં નથી આવતી, મારું નામ નીતા રાયસકા છે.
બરાબર.
મને થોડીક હેલ્પ મારા સન સાથે અટાણા બેનને જે થાય છે ને એવી સ્ટોરી છે થોડીક, તો આઈ નીડ પ્રાઇવેટ થોડીક વાત કરવી છે મને, ને મને મોર સપોર્ટની જરૂર છે, મને બી નથી સારું.
બરાબર. અચ્છા કિરીટભાઈ, you need to make a note of this lady and her name. એમને પ્રાઇવેટ સપોર્ટ જોઈએ છે, પ્રાઇવેટ કોન્વર્સેશન એમને કરવું છે, તો એ તો પછી તમે લોકો કરી શકો છો. બેન, આપને સરોજબેન માટે કંઈ ખાસ અત્યારે પૂછવું છે?
હું એની સ્ટોરી જોઈને મારી સાથે બી આવું જ મેરેજ લાઈફમાં બધું થયું છે, પણ બધા અટાણે લાઈવ હોય ને બેન, એટલે મને, હું આધારમાં આવતી નથી, કોઈને ઓળખતી નથી, પણ મારી બી એની બેન જેવી સ્ટોરી છે. મારે સન ને ડોટર જ છે. હું ઈ જ મારે ગેમ્બલિંગમાં છે ને એને ડ્રિંકમાં હતા. એ મારે મેરેજ બ્રેકડાઉન થયું, મારી હેલ્થ બગડી ગઈ, મારે બી બધા ઈ સેમ ઇસ્યુઝ છે. પણ ઈ બેનને હું કહું છું કે થેન્ક યુ સો મચ કે તમે મને ઇન્કરેજ કરી વધારે. મેં તો 320 આમ જ સાંભળ્યું એટલે મને ખબર પડી. મને ખબર નથી કે આવતું હતું એ બેન. મારું મેન્ટલ હેલ્થ અત્યારે બહુ વર્સ થઈ ગયું છે બીકોઝ ઓફ આ લોકડાઉન. કોઈ સાથે વાત નથી થતી.
બેન, હું છે ને તમને મારો નંબર આપીશ, તમે મને કોન્ટેક્ટ કરજો, તો પછી તમને કઈ ના સપોર્ટ આપીશ તમને. મારો નંબર છે ને હું તમને ચેટમાં મૂકીશ તમને.
ઓકે, થેન્ક યુ.
ઓકે, હું ચેટમાં મૂકીશ, તમે મને કોન્ટેક્ટ કરજો. ઓકે
ઓકે ભાઈ, થેન્ક યુ વેરી મચ. આની સેડ સ્ટોરી છે બિચારા બેનની, બધી વાત સાંભળીને ગોડ એને હેલ્પ કરે ને બધી રીતે બ્લેસ કરે બિચારાને. થેન્ક યુ, ગોડ બ્લેસ યુ.
Thank you, ma'am. Kirit, we need to look at the sound situation. It's not coming from myself. It's definitely not my side. Can you just check if there are any mics that are interfering here on your side?
I think I've got the YouTube live on connect. Could be that.
Could you turn the sound down of that, please?
I'm just trying.
Yeah, it's when you have double transmissions on, you're going to get interference.
Sorry, I'm not very good at this. Sorry. Okay, I'll try and do that. Is that better? Is that better?
I'm still hearing the sound in the background. It's constantly going. Does somebody else have their selves unmuted? Everybody, please put yourself on mute except for the person who's about to speak. I'm going to invite somebody to speak. So,
Smita, people on mobile phone, that's where the sound is coming, or on iPad, that's where the sounds are coming from.
Yeah. So it's definitely not my side. I've changed my system is never echoing. The echo might be myself, but it's not coming from my side. Let me try unblocking this. Actually, just hear you guys. Is this any better?
A lot better. So
let's start then. No, the sound is
still there.
It's definitely not me, I tell you guys, because everyone's telling me it's not me. I do this all the time. My system is figured out. Okay, let me carry on. અચ્છા, કોણ બીજાને કોઈને કંઈ પૂછવું છે, કંઈ કોમેન્ટ કરવી છે, કંઈ શેર કરવું છે? આપ કોઈ આધારની કમ્યુનિટીમાં હોય, આધારથી જોડાયેલા હોય, તો તમારી સાઈડેથી કંઈ પણ તમારે કોઈ પણ ખાસ તમારા અનુભવ હોય, અથવા તો સરોજબેન માટે તમારે કંઈ એમને કંઈ પૂછવું હોય તો પૂછી શકો છો.
હેલો, હું પુષ્પાબેન બોલું છું.
જી પુષ્પાબેન.
સરોજબેન માટે મને બહુ પેલું સોરી ફીલ થયું, કારણ કે જેમના છોકરા હોય તેમને ખબર હોય કે શું થાય છે. અને આધાર ગ્રુપમાં તો એટલું સરસ છે કે બધાને સપોર્ટ કરે છે અને મજા આવે છે અમને બધાને. અને એ બેનને બિચારીને ભગવાન શક્તિ આપે અને દુઆ કરું છું કે સારી રીતના એ જીવનમાં એની દીકરી સાથે જીવે, એવી મારી પ્રભુ પ્રાર્થના છે.
Thank you, Pushpaben. Thank you so much.
I like to say something, Kirit.
બોલો.
અમારા ફેમિલીમાં જ એક જણાને આવું થઈ ગયું હતું, પણ એ લોકોએ બહુ હાઈડ કરે છે. I think what she did open as a Asian community માં આપણે છે ને બધા સ્ટીમાં બહુ છે, બધું બોલતા નથી બધાય. આજે વાત કરી અને માણસોને દિલ ખોલીને વાત કરી શકે કે બીજાના ઘરમાં થાય એને ખબર પડે. આપણું સ્ટીમાં બહુ છે, આપણા ઘર કોઈ ફેમિલી સ્પેશિયલી એશિયનમાં કોઈને વાત કરતા નથી કોઈ આવી
બરાબર
કે ઘરમાં શું પ્રોબ્લેમ થાય છે. આ કોઈને વાત કરવાથી બીજા કોઈને પણ હલ મળે એનો.
બરાબર.
કે શું કામ થયું, શા માટે થયું. ફેમિલીમાં સ્પેશિયલી આપણી એશિયન કમ્યુનિટીમાં જે આપણા છોકરાઓને જ્યારે હોય છે ત્યારે આપણે આપણા છોકરાઓને સપોર્ટ નથી કરી શકતા, કારણ કે આપણા પાછળ ફેમિલીને બધાના પ્રોબ્લેમ જોઈએ. પણ એમાં એવું આપણે પોતાના છોકરાને જ જોવાનું, બીજા આજુબાજુ શું કઈ નહીં જોવાનું, તો આપણે એ લોકોને સપોર્ટ કરી શકીએ છીએ મેન્ટલ હેલ્થમાં. આમાં શું છે કે મેન્ટલ હેલ્થ પ્રોબ્લેમ છે એટલે આપણે કોઈને ભાઈઓને કે બહેનોને કોઈને કઈ કહી નથી શકતા અને પૂછી નથી શકતા. એના હિસાબે આવા કેસીસ બહુ બને છે. પણ ટૂંકમાં આવું કેવું એક જ છે કે પ્લીઝ સપોર્ટ યોર ઓન ફેમિલી. તમારા છોકરાને કે વાઈફને કે હસબન્ડને કોઈ હોય એ લોકોને સપોર્ટ કરો મેન્ટલ હેલ્થમાં. તો આવા વસ્તુ ના બનવી જોઈએ.
કિરીટભાઈ, તમને શું લાગે છે આપણે શા માટે આ બાબતમાં વાત નથી કરી શકતા? તમારી આ બાબતમાં
આપણી એશિયન કોમ્યુનિટીમાં આવી વાત છે ને, મેન્ટલ હેલ્થ એટલે ગાંડા થઈ જાય કહેવાય.
બરાબર.
અને એ કોઈને જે આપણી અત્યારે જનરેશનને જે થોડી ખબર પડે છે, પણ પહેલાની જૂની જે ઓલ્ડ પીપલ છે એ લોકો માટે બહુ હાર્ડ છે અન્ડરસ્ટેન્ડ થવું કે જો વોટ્સ અ મેન્ટલ હેલ્થ.
સાચી વાત છે.
અને એ પછી કોઈ સમજતા નથી સરખું. અને કોઈને સમજાવવા જાવ તો કે ના તારી બાયડી ગાંડી થઈ જાય, તમારે હસમ ગાંડા છે એમ કહી દે બધા. અને જેને વીતતું હોય એને ખબર પડે એની ફેમિલીમાં કે શું વીતે છે.
બરાબર.
આવી રીતના બહાર સ્ટોરી કાઢી અને બધા માણસોને અન્ડરસ્ટેન્ડ થવાની જરૂર છે.
જી.
સ્પેશિયલી મેન્ટલ હેલ્થ ઇઝ નોટ ધેટ વાસ્ટ કે કોઈને કહી દઉં કે મારી ઘરમાં આ પ્રોબ્લેમ છે. And mental health is not easy to diagnose even. Only professional can diagnose કે he's in depression, કે એના mental health problem છે. Ordinary doctor GP આગળ તમને નહીં diagnose મળે છે. It has to be diagnosed by professionals. And it's not easy one to know કે આ માણસ ડિપ્રેશનમાં છે. આજે તમારો સન કે ડોટર કોઈ ડિપ્રેસ હશે, ફોન બંધ કરતો, અને તમને ખબર નહીં પડે he's in depression till somebody professional diagnose that.
બરાબર.
And it's not easy to do it even. And people has to be warned now that mental health is not a કે ખરાબ છે, એમાં સપોર્ટ જોઈએ છે. સપોર્ટ આપો તો વધુ સારું થાય છે. I got my own experience.
Right.
I've been through this line.
બરાબર. અચ્છા, તમે એમાંથી કેવી રીતે બહાર આવ્યા?
સપોર્ટ કર્યો મેં માય ફેમિલીને જ. I don't worry about મારા ભાઈ કે મારી બહેનો બધા શું કહેશે, મારા કુટુંબમાં શું કહેશે.
બરાબર.
You have to support your partner, whoever it is in your family. Look after. બીજા કોઈ કહે તો એને ડાઉન નહીં કરવાના. You have to put other people down. Support the own person. જેને આજે ડાયગ્નોઝ થઈ ગયું છે કે he's a good mental health problem. એનું મગજ જ ઠેકાણે નથી હોતું, કાંઈ બધું it's not in right position even. We know it. પણ બીજાને ખબર નથી ને, બહારનાને તમને કહેશે આવો છે તેવો છે તેવું કરે છે, પણ એને સપોર્ટ એ લોકોનું નહીં સાંભળવાનું. આપણે આપણું પોતાનું જોવાનું.
બરાબર. અને કિરીટભાઈ, એટલું પણ આજકાલ તો ઘણી સંસ્થાઓ પણ છે કે જે આ વસ્તુમાં આપણને મદદ કરી શકે અને કોઈ જાતનું આપણને સમજણ લાવી શકે, કોઈ અમુક સ્કિલ્સ આમાં કેવી રીતે આને હેન્ડલ કરવા માટે શું સ્કિલ્સ જોઈએ છે, આપણે કોઈ નવી રીતોથી વિચાર કરવાનો છે, એ બધી વસ્તુઓને એમાં મદદગાર થઈ શકે એવા ઘણી બધી સંસ્થાઓ છે. એમાંનો એક આધાર જે છે, બરાબર કે નહીં? બરાબર.
આધારમાં તમને પોઈન્ટ કોણ કરશે? તમે સ્ટાર્ટિંગ ડિપ્રેશનમાં આવી ગયા, who is going to tell you to go to Adhar? It's your GP. પણ GP સ્ટાર્ટિંગમાં ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ નથી લેતા.
એટલા માટે
You understand what? મારું કહેવું એમ છે કે સાઇન પોસ્ટ સ્ટાર્ટિંગમાંથી જ નથી મળતી. When things get out of control, then they have been signposted. When it's too late.
Well, this is why we are doing these kinds of programs, Kiritbhai, so to raise awareness. કે આવી રીતે ઘણી સંસ્થાઓ છે અને આધાર તો છે જ, એટલે આપણે પણ બીજાને રેકમેન્ડ કરી શકીએ કે આવી રીતે આવી સંસ્થાઓ છે, તો આધાર છે, તો તમે એમને કોન્ટેક્ટ કરો અને જો કે તમને એમાં શું મદદ મળી શકે છે.
પણ બીજા આપણે વાત કરે તો કોઈ તમે હેલ્પ કરો ને.
બરાબર.
કોઈ વાત કરવા તૈયાર નથી અત્યારે. પ્રોબ્લેમ ત્યાં છે. આજે બધા પોતાનું સંતાન અંદર દબાવી રાખે છે.
સાચું.
ત્યારે ફૂગો ફૂટે પછી too late.
So just to explain a little bit of what Kiritbhai is saying, he's saying that the issue is that when people go through
under depression,
whenever people go through issues at home, there's as everyone knows, there's a massive stigma, and people don't want to talk about the issue with other people outside the family because they don't want to be gossiped about, don't want to be judged. And people immediately, when it comes in the Gujarati community or many of the Indian communities, mental health as such is seen immediately as craziness. It's crazy behavior. It's like madness. So there is a massive judgment attached to any form of mental health, any form of dysfunction that comes from emotional or mental health. And so there's this absolute closing down of sharing with the outside world, just because people don't want to be talked about, they don't want to be judged, and they want to give the impression to the outside world that everything is okay. So they try and deal with it internally, but often they don't have the wherewithal, the skills, to be able to take on and tackle these very, very deep, profound issues. So the point Kiritbhai is talking about is that, we need to talk more about these types of issues. And I'm explaining that now, of course, that there are organizations such as Adhar that are available, many, for free, that are available that we can reach out to. You need to be able to somehow either be able to use the internet or ask somebody to look it up for you. And there's a lot of external support available where other people in the community don't necessarily need to know what is happening in your family. These are issues that can be talked about privately with the right people who can actually assist you and help you and direct you in the right way. So that's the conversation that we've had so far. And thank you so much for sharing, Kiritbhai. Is there anyone else who would like to who has a comment that you would like to make, or perhaps Sarojben, perhaps address something to Sarojben? એમને કંઈ પૂછવું છે કે એમના એક્સપિરિયન્સ ઉપરથી કંઈ તમારે કંઈ ખાસ જાણકારી કરવી હોય તો maybe pose a question to Sarojben herself, see if there's anything that you can ask her relevant to her experience.
Can I come in, Smita?
Yes, please do.
Yeah, first of all, let me introduce myself. I'm the local councillor, Councillor Adhar Govind.
Kiritbhai, તમારું iPad જરા mute કરી દેશો ભાઈ.
Okay, I'll start again now, Smita. First of all, I'm the local councillor, Councillor Adhar Govind. First of all, I'd like to thank the Adhar, the whole project, the whole this project that has been set up. Congratulations. Well, I'm not going to say congratulations. Brave to Sarojben and her daughter as well for coming out openly now. This has opened our eyes as well. And like Kiritbhai was saying earlier, there are assistants out there. We can assist or we can guide in the right direction. Police are there to listen to the mental health issue. They have dedicated officer, then that can assist you. If there is a language barrier, this is where Adhar comes into the equation. And there are various other organizations as well who can assist. And Kiritbhai saying there's no one there to listen. And I can assure you, Kiritbhai, that there are people out there who will listen to the needs of individual cases.
Indeed.
So we are happy to assist. If anybody, go to your local councillors, local authority, irrespective of which ward you live in. They will assist you or they will guide you in the right direction.
Yeah, I like to say one point in that. You are right, there is a help there. But how can we say people, this is you got this, if you got this, please go there. But that is not there. You don't know you got a mental health problem in your family. Who is the person to tell you to go there? People doesn't need that help at the moment, but when they need it, it's not time. So nobody points there.
Kiribai, I don't know what area you live in. Smita, with your permission, I'm going to say this on air. Yeah, Kiribai, if you got a problem, all the councillor informations are on the City Council website. You'll get all the contact detail, either telephone, email, and I can assure you, my fellow co-councillors, everybody else will guide you in the right direction. Yes, they will listen to you first. Until they don't listen your story, they can't guide you. So they have to listen, and the person have to be brave enough, just like Saroja has done, and her daughter or her family. That is the only way that can be done.
Yeah, this is what I mean. It has to be publicized more. If these things happens out there, there is the help. But
totally,
nobody will dig into it. You don't know if depression is so bad. You don't know a person is depression, is having this mental health problem. You cannot judge for your family members.
No, you
it's a
cannot.
Professional who can tell you this is in depression.
Agree with you.
That's the hard point. When it comes to when it becomes worse, that's the time you start looking for the help.
Totally agree with you, Kirit Bhai. And the point is that the information is out there. If you go into City Council,
information is there, but when it's too late, we need to more publicize that this information is here. If you get this sort of problem, example આપીને લોકોને વાત પહોંચાડવી પડે છે. Example નથી મળ્યા કોઈને.
happy to take your issue with the permission of Smita and Adhar Project.
Thank you. I think there's good points there. Kirit Bhai, you raised some good points. Also, Councillor, you've raised some good points. I think the point is what Kirit Bhai's frustration is, that Adhar is not commissioned by NHS or local authority, public health. So that's the challenge.
Public health has to be a more.
So the challenge is that we need to ensure that there is more cultural sensitive services which are funded locally, and but we can take this later. But that's the challenge that we have as an Adhar project. We have to find our funding from all of the sources. We are not commissioned by our public health, local authority, or by the CCG NHS. So that's the point. But anyway, we're going to move on to the question. I wanted to ask Sapna a question, if that's okay. Sapna is about, firstly, Sarojben and Sapna, thank you for sharing your moving and obviously your experience and your journey. And obviously we are here to support as well if you need any further support. But Sapna, the question as a young person, how can we start to have conversations around mental health with young people? This is something that, if you feel happy to answer that question.
For young people, when they talk about it, they feel like embarrassed and ashamed because it's like they don't want to talk about it. And it's like really hard to reach out for help, and it's not a topic to talk about or share because as a young person, they feel embarrassed. And yeah.
I think also, I mean, obviously hearing the comments that's been made, I do agree to some that, I mean, obviously there should be more out there, like a platform. That's why I feel like, I'm very happy, like volunteering, going into like community centers and give out, I don't know if it's the right word, but like an education, just explaining what mental health is and just, give some advice, there is help out there. Sometimes just reaching out, doing some voluntary work, if some, like a group of, maybe like even families, they can probably go into community centers or like schools or, workplace. Just doing something voluntary can be a start of just reaching out for the youngsters. I think we need to really focus on the youngsters really speaking, because otherwise, if they don't speak out, who are they going to reach out to? They should be able to reach out to family members, even to the elders as well, because I know the elders there would like to support the youngsters, but there's a barrier between the youngsters and the elders that they cannot communicate, and that's where the situation is that we need to resolve. Yeah.
And I think also some of the, Kirit Bhai mentioning, you don't know where to reach out to until it's too late and so on. I think another issue in the community is that we tend to have a passive approach to our well-being in general, especially with the older communities. With the younger community, with the youngsters, there's a little bit more awareness. It's in the paradigm, of we have the dialogue, we have the conversation of mental health, releasing stress, and all sorts of stuff like that. There's many support structures for youngsters, but with the elders, there is a natural tendency to be passive. And I think what Kirit Bhai is talking about is kind of doubly impacted by the fact that we come from a community where we tend to be saru thai jase, it'll be okay, kai nathi tha, badu barabar che, kai vandho nahi. All of those types of things where we don't want to trouble somebody else. Koine bijane taklif api nathi. So as a result of that, we keep a lot of things inside. And until the impact manifests into outward symptoms in how we relate to other people. એટલે કે આપણા સંબંધમાં આપણે બીજા સાથે જે રીતે આપણે વાત કરીએ છીએ ને એમાં ફરક, એમાં ખૂબ જ એમ કે પરિવર્તન આવી જાય છે, ત્યાર સુધી આપણને ખબર નથી પડતી, કારણ કે આપણે એવા આપણી સંસ્કૃતિમાં એવું છે કે આપણે એકદમ જ બધું અંદર રાખવાનું કે ના કાંઈ વાંધો નહીં, બધું બરાબર છે, કાંઈ બધું કાલે સારું થઈ જશે, કાંઈ વાંધો નહીં, આવું તો હોય, આવું તો લાઈફમાં હોય. આપણા સંબંધમાં કોઈ આપણને ઘરે કંઈ મારપીટ થતી હોય તો એવો ત્રાસ હોય તો એ તો ચાલતું રહે, એવું બધું આપણી સંસ્કૃતિમાં હોય છે. સો એના માટે આપણે થોડું ધ્યાન રાખવું પડે કે ના, એવું હોય એ બરાબર નથી. એટલે કે આપણે જે પેલા સહન કરી શકતા, જે સહન કરવાનું આપણું જે પેલું સંસ્કૃતિ હતી, એમાં એક સહનશીલતા એક સારી વસ્તુ છે, પણ એમ કે એની અસર ઘણી વખત કંઈ સારી નથી હોતી. The impact of that is that it results in emotional and mental imbalances. So barabar ke nahi, who wants to respond to that, what I just said? Can somebody agree with me, disagree with me? Saroj,
yes, I agree with you, Kirit.
Yeah. And Saroj,
I agree. I've been through this thing, that's why I said I agree.
Right, good. And Sarojben, would you tend to agree with that sort of approach? That's how we're inherently brought up.
I think that is the situation, and I do agree what you're saying. But then we have to find that resolution to resolve it. And that's why I keep saying, I did one for our Patel community in London. I did actually go out in the community centre and we sort of talked about what my situation was. And we sort of and there was a lot of elderly people there, and basically just educating them to, make them understand what mental health is. It did help them to sort of take something back, and they can work home with their family and maybe go back and say, okay, let's talk. How are you today? Or, just start a conversation. And I believe that works.
Well, I think it's a very interesting point you raise, in that you had to go and talk about what is mental health. એટલે કે આપણી સંસ્કૃતિમાં, આપણા કલ્ચરમાં, આપણા કમ્યુનિટીઝમાં છે ને આ કોન્સેપ્ટ જ નથી. એટલે કે આ એકચ્યુઅલી એક આઈડિયા જ નથી કે મેન્ટલ હેલ્થ એટલે કઈ વસ્તુ છે, એવી વસ્તુ કઈ છે. એટલે એ જ પ્રોબ્લેમ છે. We don't even know that there is such a thing as mental health.
Got it there.
Right? So,
yeah.
So there is that's already the starting point. Actually, mental health શું છે, એમાં આપણે શું વસ્તુ માટે આપણે શું ध्यान રાખવાનું છે. અને આપણે જ્યારે એમ કે આપણને થોડું કંઈ અંદરથી એમ કે આપણે જીવ બળે છે, અથવા તો થોડું સેડનેસ જેવું લાગે છે, પણ એ શા બાબતમાં થાય છે, એનું કારણ શું છે, એ આપણે વિચારમાં એટલા ઊંડા આપણે ગહેરો વિચાર નથી કરી શકતા અને કરવા માંગતા પણ નથી. કારણ કે જ્યારે આપણે જોઈએ છે ત્યારે અમુક વસ્તુ એવી બહાર આવે છે કે જે આપણને એમ કે આપણને સારું ફીલ નથી કરાવતી, પણ એ કરવાની જરૂરી છે, એમ કહેવાનું છે સરોજબેનનું. એમ કે મેન્ટલ હેલ્થ શું છે પહેલા, પછી એમ કે એમાં આપણે કેવી રીતે, કઈ દ્રષ્ટિકોણથી આપણે એને જોઈ શકીએ છીએ, કે એને જોવામાં અને એને સમજવામાં એમાંથી આપણને આપણી ખુશી વધે છે એમાંથી. એમ કે Right. Indrani, you wanted to ask a question. Can you please unmute yourself and can we hear from you?
Yeah. Hi, Smita. Thank you very much. Yeah, and thank you very much to Saroj and Sapna. And I think, what I've been writing there is like really, I was short of words, so to kind of actually acknowledge the contribution. But I think some of the things that I was actually looking at, when you were talking and looking into your movie, I think the approach to life is something that came through quite a lot to how you dealt with it. So you have been actually, you had two kind of struggles. One is dealing with a teenager child and dealing with the loss of a teenager. And one teenager actually witnessing that loss, and you as a mom is standing in between. How difficult was that role? How difficult was that role to navigate and switch your brains off and on, from something that you have, something that much dear that you have lost, to someone who is there, and she's someone you need to be very proud of, honestly. And very well done, Swapna. It's not very easy to talk about these things as well. As we are doing the research, we don't think that many teenagers do come in to share their stories like the way she has done. So very well done on that. But if you tell me about that, Saroj, that
definitely. I'm glad that you brought that up. Firstly, for me, I felt I had two choices. I'm on this road. I'm on this path. I can choose either the right or the left. So that's all I kept in mind. I kept thinking, I can go on that road and be depressed. I can be sad. I can just, let's say I've lost my son. It's not worth, staying. I could choose that path, but no, I didn't. I thought to myself, I've got to hold on. I've got a young daughter here. I've got to be that support. So I had two choices, and I'm glad that I chose this choice, making sure that I'm stronger for her. Yes, I do have times that I break down, this and that, but I have to get up and I have to move on. Well, not move on, I would say move with. And I feel that if I can support my daughter, I can become stronger. I'm so happy, that my son, he was born to me, but yet what the situations happened, I'm never going to be able to bring him back. But I have to be so strong for my daughter in this situation. And I feel like that if I can help her, I can help many. If I can reach out, that's my goal. End of that. And I'm a happy person.
Yes, you are. And when I say proud, it's not just to put it in words, because it's a massive support. And what you said just now, I just want to, highlight a few things for Adhar as well, Kirit, just for you, regarding the mental health resilience building in schools. And I think one of the things that Kirit Bhai was mentioning there beforehand as well, like how do we understand it as a family person? And it's very difficult, really. If your son or daughter or someone close to you, how can you make that judgment? And that actually goes back and needs to be connected to schools. So the mental health resilience building exercise, that need to be part of the curriculum. And that possibly is something that Adhar can do. So it's not just about, because people need to realize, and what Saroj just said to us here is really what she has done is actually making herself strong and choosing that path to resilience, and that has helped her daughter. So I think that's one of the things, and we need to hold these kind of regular sessions to empower people from our community, to let them understand it, because otherwise, it's no point. And like someone said that, went to a GP and it wasn't that much of help. It's not because they're not kind of trained on that, but it's for us as individuals to understand, and that thing needs to be prioritized, I believe. And questioning films, I was trying to research on some of the things just now, just to look into Gujarati films and how mental health has been negatively portrayed. So possibly changing the word and asking the community to think about what words actually we feel comfortable with, So, like if we say mental health, and how Smita said earlier, that it's being linked to madness. Yes, it's being linked to madness in movies, in films, in what we have heard from our grandparents, and that legacy continues. So, how do you break the chain? You break the chain by actually learning to question things, and I think that's again something part of what Adhar can do quite a lot.
Well, Indrani, here's the nub of it. When I was looking at what is the word for mental health in Gujarati, we don't have the words. Okay, so I refer to it as mansik swasthya, which is mental health literally, in translated. But actually, it's not a concept. It's just not even a concept, an intellectual concept in the language, in the culture as a thing. We have spiritual well-being. That we have no emotional or mental well-being as an idea. So you're absolutely right. I think the way that we articulate something, the way that we speak something, gives a world. It creates the world inside of which we engage in a conversation. And so the English term mental health refers to a broad range of issues. And because immediately Kirit Bhai earlier mentioned the word depression, but it's not just depression. Depression is a condition that is a specific condition as diagnosed in the field of psychology. But there are many stages to that before depression becomes a thing. But I want to move on, if you don't mind, Indrani. I'd like to move on now to a couple of other questions. Hasu has been waiting for a while. Would you please like to ask your question or make your point, please?
Thank you. I'm really moved by what's been the discussion that's been going on. Please accept my apologies. I joined a bit late, so some of the issues may be talked about or discussed. But my પોતાની concern શું છે કે સમાજમાં, ફેમિલીઝમાં જે મેન્ટલ હેલ્થ વાસ્તે જે શબ્દો વપરાય છે, પાગલ છે, ગાંડો છે, મગજની બીમારી છે, these are all negative words. એટલે first of all જે કુટુંબમાં તકલીફ હોય ને ત્યાંથી આ શરૂ થાય છે નેગેટિવ વર્ડ કે જે વ્યક્તિને ફેમિલીમાં તકલીફ હોય એને કહે કે આ ગાંડો છે, પાગલ છે, મગજની બીમારી છે, તો પછી એ વ્યક્તિને આ માન સ્વમાન જતું રહે છે ત્યાંથી જ. અને ત્યાર પછી ફેમિલી એ સપોર્ટ લઈ નથી શકતા અને તે ઉપરાંત ફેમિલી વિચાર કરે છે કે બારે કોઈને ખબર પડશે કે આને મગજની માનસિક બીમારી છે. તમે જે વાત કરી કે માનસિક વર્ડ ઇઝ અ બેટર વર્ડ, નોટ અ નેગેટિવ વર્ડ, પણ એની સમજણ અને એનું ઇન્ટરપ્રિટેશન, કોનોટેશન્સ આપણા નેબરમાં, આપણા ફ્રેન્ડમાં, આપણે કમ્યુનિટીમાં શું છે, કોઈ એડમિટ કરે કે મારા છોકરાને કે છોકરીને કે ફેમિલીમાં કોઈને માનસિક બીમારી છે, the immediate connotation is કે તો પાગલ છે, જવા દો ને વાત, એની સાથે વાત નથી કરવી, બેદરકારી. I think these are the kinds of difficulties professionals or families or other people run into. So first of all, જે education and prevention છે, આપણો આધાર પ્રોજેક્ટ છે કિરીટભાઈનો, એ લોકોને જો સપોર્ટ આપવામાં આવે કોઈ બી રીતે, પ્રોફેશનલ વર્કર, ફંડિંગ, ઘણી બધી વસ્તુઓની જરૂર છે. એ લોકો પબ્લિકને એજ્યુકેટ કરી શકે અને ઇન્ફોર્મેશન આપી શકે કે આ કંઈ ખરાબ વસ્તુ નથી.
બરાબર. બરાબર, સાચું, સૌ સહી વાત કહી આપે. એટલે તમે જે કહો છો એ જ વાત આપણે થાય છે ને કે આપણા કલ્ચરમાં જ, આપણા સમાજમાં આ જે આઈડિયા છે કે આપણે માનસિક કોઈ વાત છે તો તાત્કાલિક આપણે માની લઈએ છીએ કે એ કંઈ બહુ ખરાબ વસ્તુ છે, કે કંઈ નોર્મલ વસ્તુ નથી, એમ કે આપણે આવું ના હોવું જોઈએ, આપણે ના હોવું જોઈએ. એ ખાસ કરીને આપણામાં બહુ વધારે પડતું એમ કે આપણા સંસ્કૃતિમાં વાપરવામાં આવે છે. એમ ના હોય, એમ ના હોવું જોઈએ, આમ હોવું જોઈએ. બરાબર કે નહીં? એટલે આ વસ્તુઓમાં જે એમાં શું થાય છે કે માણસ દબાઈ જાય છે, આપણે દબાઈ જઈએ છીએ અંદર, આપણે જે કંઈ વાત કરવી હોય તો આપણાથી થતી નથી અને આગળ વધી નથી શકતી. એટલા માટે આજે પ્રોગ્રામ્સ બનાવવામાં આવે છે. આજ જે છે, આ ધારો કે આજ છે, આપણે આવા આધારે ઘણા આવા પ્રોગ્રામ્સ કરેલા છે, બીજી સંસ્થાઓ પણ કરે છે. તો એમાંથી આપણે ધીમે ધીમે આગળ આવીએ અને આ અવેરનેસ, એટલે કે માણસને જાગૃત આપણા સમાજોને જાગૃત કરીએ છીએ કે આવા ઇશ્યુઝ હોય છે અને એમાં કંઈ ખરાબી નથી, આમ સાધારણ વસ્તુ છે એકચ્યુઅલી. કારણ કે લાઈફ આજકાલ ખૂબ ડિફિકલ્ટ છે, ચેલેન્જિંગ છે, અને એમાં કોઈ આવા ઇશ્યુઝ આવી જાય છે તો એમાં કંઈ વધારે પડતી ખરાબ વસ્તુ નથી. એને જે રીતે આપણને શરીરમાં કંઈ દર્દ થાય તો આપણે જઈએ છીએ ડૉક્ટર પાસે, તે રીતે આ પણ એક વસ્તુ છે કે જેના માટે આપણે સાવચેત રહેવાનું છે કે આપણી હેલ્થ, આપણું સ્વાસ્થ્ય જાળવી રહેવાય છે માનસિક રીતે પણ. Thank you so much, Hasubhai. Appreciate that. Let's see now somebody else. How about Councillor Rita Patel? Would you like to say something, ma'am?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, great. I just wanted to start off by saying a massive thank you to both Surajbin and Sapna, because I think they've turned a real tragedy in their lives into something really positive and into something where they're using their pain in order to help and support others who may be going through a similar situation. And I think there isn't anything greater as a human being that you can do than to turn something that is a tragedy in your life to help others. So I really want to say a massive thank you to Surajbin and Sapna. I think their son, obviously from the film, you can see that he was someone that, both of the women are tremendously proud of. Surajbin is tremendously proud of her son, and I think she has every right to be. But what I'm also really impressed by is the fact that his friends have continued to be part of the family and have continued to be part of the support network. And that's what gives me great hope, that I think young people do see that there is a need for us to actually support each other when these kind of things happen. And the only way, I mean, I've heard lots of things that have been said today, but the only way that I think we can start to change things and start to move things in a different direction is a point that Indrani made about making young people more aware of what they can do, building in resilience at a very young age, and also showing them the kind of things that they need to look out for, supporting them with coping mechanism. But in the wider community, I think everybody has today talked about what Adhar can do. Adhar, as long as I've known it, since I used to work at Belgrabeno, Adhar and people like Harjit and Kirit and all the other staff and management members have struggled for years to make sure that they've had enough funding to carry on the work. But Adhar is one organization, and I think Kirit is right, and something that other speakers have said is right, that unless statutory agencies, whoever they may be, and I'm a city councillor, I'm assistant mayor for equalities, and I hold my hands up to say, unless we put more funding and make it available so that this dialogue can continue, so that we raise the awareness, I think we're always going to be speaking after tragedies like this rather than working proactively to prevent them. So I'm tremendously proud of the work that Adhar does. But I also wanted to say to Surajbin and Sapna that today I think they have enabled me to see the kind of amazing work that women are doing on an everyday basis whilst trying to cope with what life throws at them. They're still trying to make a difference in other people's lives. And I just want to say a massive thank you. And the one question that I want to ask Sapna is, Sapna, you obviously miss your brother very much, and he was your older brother. What would you want to say to young people, of your kind of age, who find themselves in difficulties and can't talk to anybody? What would you say that they need to be thinking about before they take any steps, any drastic steps, what advice would you give those people?
They need to reach out with people like strangers, anyone, like friends, yeah, like to help them, because this is like a serious matter and they shouldn't have this, like, you know. And
is there anything that you think people like ourselves can do to help and support you in actually being able to use your experience to further, build communications amongst young people so that they're better able to cope with issues that life throws at them? What do your friends say about things like that? It's a lot to ask, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a lot to ask. I can see it on your face.
Yeah.
I think we need to somehow work things out. I don't know, Sarojben, whether there's anything that you feel that, you know, could have been done that wasn't done that would have helped your son.
I think well, the situation was difficult for me because obviously I was going through a really bad marriage with physical abuse and everything. And while growing up, my son saw a lot of that. So obviously mentally he was sort of keeping a lot of things in his mind. Whereas after when I got a divorce, we went for counselling, me and my daughter, and I kept saying to my son, why don't you come along? We might just need a little bit of counselling for us just to get back because we've separated from your dad. But he kept just saying, no, Mum, I'm fine. And obviously he finished his A-levels and then he was going on to university. So he kept just saying, I'm fine, Mum, but you go ahead with business, you know, with Sapna. But the situation is that he probably did need help, just, you know, with talking, yet he didn't reach out. So this is what I'm saying. Sometimes I feel for the youngsters, they need to understand that we as parents, we are here to listen. Maybe if we didn't sort of listen the first time, but try again. And if it doesn't succeed, then go to, seek, just go to a friend maybe, or a neighbor, or just, talk to somebody. I don't want them feeling that they have to stay quiet. And they shouldn't feel ashamed or, embarrassed.
Yeah. I just want to thank you, and Smitha, thank you for giving this opportunity, not just to myself, but for other people, and Girit and Adhar and Indrani and other people who have put a lot of work into organizing an event like this. And somebody said earlier that it would be good to be able to continue this dialogue and have more sessions like this. And I absolutely, absolutely think it's essential. I can think of at least 10 other people that I would have liked to have been here today in this session, listening and watching that video that, Sarojben and Sapna were a part of. And I will make sure that people get the YouTube link in order to be able to see that, because I think that's how slowly, slowly we will start to get the message out. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Sorry, go ahead.
I just want to add, I just really want to say thank you to Maya to actually do this for us, because it's a step for us, to at least to show everyone that, mental health is very serious and reach out.
Absolutely perfect. Thank you so much, everybody, for sharing. I'd just like to ask Maya to add a few words if you'd like to do, Maya. Just anything you'd like to add to the discussion, the conversation, any observations? Can't hear you, Maya. If you would like to unmute yourself.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah. And thanks for screening Saroj's story to reach out everyone to knowledge about the mental health. And especially I'm so pleased to see Saroj and Sapna here. And after we done the movie, we didn't have a time to meet because of COVID-19. And yeah, hi Sapna, I hope you're okay, and I miss you. And when I did the documentary, I think it's as a filmmaker, I'm not quite hard for me to, because I have to build up the trust filmmakers and the stories, who had a very personal, private story to open up to in front of the camera, and because they are not actors or actress, and of course, and they will, because it's naturally when I made them, they open up their mind, but exactly that honest convocation, talk, I need to get into the film. And what I did, and before doing the filming, I think Sapna, and then I realized I want to open up Sapna's, and rather than Saroj as a young, the young girl, what I did, I brought my film crew to their house first before we are doing filming, and we had a nice cup of tea and eating. We had a nice time before shooting, because I want to introduce my film crew to there, and especially for the Sapna, getting to know them, the make them comfortable. I'm so pleased, and they came very naturally and honest, and how they feel about losing their brothers and son, and not only Saroj, and to be honest, when I did the research about the mental health within South Asian community, and I've been so many houses who affected for the mental health and who lost their loved one within the family, not everyone coming up sharing their stories. They are still afraid of the society and how they're judging them, oh, you're crazy, you lose your son because of, you lose your daughter because of you and your fault. They're really easy to point out someone's fault, to understand. Then I'm so pleased, and Saroj and Sapna, they came up, and I met more than 10 families, and they are the people, okay, we are willing to give our story to and share with the world. And now you are here and sharing your story with everyone. And please reach out. I mean, I noticed through my research, most of the people, they think they cannot understand their parents about mental health, especially for who come from India and Sri Lanka and Bangladesh or Pakistan, and because they born and brought there and raised there, they came to this country, and their children, and born and raised here, because of the generation gap, sometimes they cannot understand, they're not using technologies, and the children thinking, the parents cannot understand, the mental health and education. And generally, I'm so pleased about Sapna and Saroj, and when they, Saroj when got divorced, and they been to the counseling, and unfortunately, and Sadil couldn't come. Especially for the man, they think, they don't want to show their symptom. They think, if you're a man, if you cry, if you're weak, they think, and you should be strong. You shouldn't cry. You shouldn't weak. They're completely wrong. We need to make them comfortable to speak up and reach out. If you are having so many, how can I say, I want to give a message. If someone feel, if you are going through so many issues, if you feeling you can't talk to anyone, you feeling like you are afraid of other person judging you, please go to the counseling. And that's the counseling is the best place. And that's the places you can open up, and you can burden yourself, and you can talk whatever. If you want to cry, if you want to laugh, you can do whatever you like. That's the most safe places to open up your mind. If you can't talk to within your family, colleagues or friends, please.
Got it. Absolutely fantastic advice. Really good reminder. And for those people that are not in a mindset of using external services and support services to share personal problems, that's a very, very good piece of advice and counsel. I'd just like to say, Maya, before we move on to the next session, which is mindfulness, we're going to do a few minutes with Pam, who's going to guide us through mental health from the perspective of mindfulness. What I like to do is just to wrap this up by saying that the documentary, the storytelling was so excellent.
So that's really credit to you. That storytelling was beautiful, and it really touches, moves, and inspires people, which is the whole point of the story to share, is to actually reach into people's worlds in a way that they can see their lives in it. And that's the, as an author, I would say that that's the mark of a good storyteller, is can other people relate, resonate with the story that you're telling. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for your inputs. I'd like to move into the next part of our session now. We're 5 minutes behind now, almost 6 now. I'd just like Pam to say hello to Pam and invite Pam to undertake the next session on mindfulness for mental health and well-being. Pam has a company that she runs called Learn to Rest. Look forward to hearing what you have to say, Pam.
Hi, Smita. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Great to be here today. So I'm Pam Sidhu. Thank you for that lovely introduction, Smita. I'm a mindfulness life coach, and I'm into mindfulness because I'm very passionate about the effects of it. So, of course, it is World Mental Health Day today, and it's important to know how to have good mental health. So I'm coming at it from a different perspective. I'm coming at it from the point of view of imagine all is well. And from that place of being all is well, what tips and techniques, what can we do to keep ourselves well, to keep our good mental health? Now, mindfulness is not just for times when all is well, because it is scientifically proven to help with stress, depression, anxiety, many benefits scientifically proven of mindfulness. I'm going to go through a few little tips and tricks with you just now. Of course, I am trained in mindfulness, but I'm also trained in NLP, which, without getting too technical, it just means that I've got more tools that people can use when it comes to using their mind. So what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is just about keeping ourselves in the moment, keeping ourselves here right now, keeping ourselves present. So the mind has a way of course, thinking about all the things that might have happened, thinking about all the things that could happen, thinking about the next job we have to do, the next call, email, whatever it might be. Mindfulness is just a way of training ourselves to be here right now. And by doing this, we're practicing good mental health. And I'm going to go through a technique, a very popular technique that I'm going to share with you in just a few minutes of how to actually do that. But let's just bring it back to something that I was discussing earlier as well in a session that I ran, which is good mental health. So I'd love to hear from yourselves. How often do you meet with people or phone somebody and talk about the good things? How often do you go in there and talk about a good memory or a positive thing that might have happened? So this is something that I think that all of us could be doing every single day, you know, even if it means looking in the mirror and reminding ourselves of something good that has happened. We have a way that we record and we store memories. And often, most of us are blessed enough to have had more good things happen to us than to have something negative happen to us. But that negative memory, that negative incident might be larger in the mind. And that's because of the way we record memories. That's because of the way it gets stored, because there's more emotional weight behind it, a negative incident happening, than perhaps when something positive happens. So to actively have good mental health, the first tip that I would like to share with everybody is, you know, make a point of talking about the good stuff. Make a list of all your good memories, of all your happy moments. Blow them up in your mind. How do we blow them up in the mind? We simply just talk about it. We relive it again and again and again. You may have seen this, you might have experienced this yourself. You might have experienced it with other people. But often if we have a negative experience, and I myself was doing this before I learnt this technique as well, before we've had if we've had a negative experience, somebody else could do something negative to us once, But every time we replay it in our mind, we go and talk about it, we're making it bigger. We're actually adding more emotional weight to it. We are making that bigger in our mind. So let's do the same with the positives. You know, let's do the same with those positive memories. Let's make them so big in the mind so that when we look into our mind, all we see is the happy stuff. So like I said, you know, you can make a list of happy memories. You can talk about it with your friends. You can look in the mirror and just say, yeah, you know what? This was good. That's good. I love this song. This song makes me feel happy. I'm going to press play on this song, you know, whatever it might be. And when we are having those challenging days, when we're having a challenging time, pull out that list. You know, some would say 2020 has been a really challenging year. You know, the news is full of negativity. The way we live, the way we operate as a society has completely changed. There's a lot of negative stuff always going in there because of the situation with the pandemic. So let's fight back by highlighting all the positives, you know, and make them even bigger. So right now, what I'd like you to do is just remember a happy memory. It could be having fun with friends. It could be the birth of a child, wedding, you know, simply playing your favorite song, going for a good drive, enjoying a walk, whatever it might be. I'd like you to just imagine this happy memory right now. And just remember it. And allow yourself to smile. And as you smile and as you remember this happy memory, be aware of your emotions change, of this happiness start to come up in you. Maybe you're feeling a bit lighter. And really see what you could see at that moment in time. See the details. Where were you? For me, one of my happy memories is standing on the beach. So I'm seeing that blue sky, I'm seeing the sea. What do you see in your happy memory? What can you hear? How do you feel emotionally? Happy? Make those emotions even stronger. Imagine you turning the dial up on it. So we're adding more emotional weight behind it, making that positive stronger in the mind. And if we add a taste and smell in, it gets even bigger in the mind. So just imagine a smell or a taste associated with that moment in time. So for me, standing on the beach, I can smell that sea air. And because it's so strong, I can almost taste that salty taste of the sea. And just be aware of how you feel right now. And I find this is a great tool. We're going through our day. We have a moment that might not be good. We're dealing with a situation that might not be good. We control what goes on in our mind. That's where our power lies. In mindfulness, there's a very famous saying, which is, we can't stop the waves, but we can learn how to surf. So with that in mind, we can't control the circumstances. We cannot control what's going on outside of us. But the one thing that we can have power over is our mind. So blow up those positive memories. Recall those happy times. The next time you meet with people or you call someone, talk about something good that happened. Say, hey, do you remember when this happened? Do you remember when that happened? And draw it out of other people. Ask them to give you more detail in the memory and feel them change, see them change, hear them change. So that's a great tip when it comes to getting those positive memories bigger in the mind. Now, I'd also like to give you a little taster of mindfulness. I'm aware that we're a little short on time. So I'm going to talk you through a 5 senses meditation. And this is something that we can do no matter where we are, no matter what it is that we're doing. We have our 5 senses. And people often say to me, Pam, I don't have time to sit and meditate. Well, this is one that you can do whether you're sitting or whether you're on the go, because it's being aware of what's happening in the moment in front of us right now, which is what mindfulness is. So when the mind starts to chatter away, you just bring yourself back to one of your 5 senses. And let's do that now. I'll talk you through it. So I'd like you to be aware of what you can see at this moment in time. So maybe you're looking at me. In fact, look at the device right now. See these pictures behind me? That's my family there. Really be aware of seeing them. The colours, the white picture frame. Just take in the detail. And if any of the thoughts come in your mind, just come back to my voice. And now be aware of what you can hear. So you can hear my voice. Perhaps you can hear traffic where you are. Maybe you can hear family members, people. If you listen really carefully, can you hear yourself breathing? Talking about the breath, we're going to move on to feeling now. So take a deep breath in and just be aware of that breath going into the body and coming out. And we're just going to focus on our breath now and feel that breath moving in and out of the body. Be aware of the route that breath takes as it goes in and comes back out. Are you breathing through your nose? Are you breathing through your mouth? Does it feel warm? Does it feel cold? Imagine you're breathing in peace and calm and breathing out the past. You're breathing in the moment and breathing out the past. Be aware of the temperature in the room. So we're focusing on what we can physically feel right now. Maybe you have your feet on the floor. If you do, feel the floor under your feet. Maybe you're sat on a chair or you're lying down. Feel the chair, the bed, whatever it may be that's supporting your weight. And still be aware of the breath moving in and out of the body. Now we're going to move on to how we emotionally feel. So just be aware of your emotions and also be aware that you can take charge of them. So just smile. You can feel yourself smiling on the inside too. Taking a deep breath in through your nose. Just focus on the sense of smell. Maybe you can't smell anything, and that's okay. Maybe you can. We're just engaging, consciously thinking about that sense of smell. Now we're going to move on to the sense of taste. So just move your tongue around your mouth and just be aware of what you can taste. Again, maybe it's nothing, or maybe it's that cup of tea that you just had. And then when you're ready, just bring your attention back to me. So what we just did then was use our 5 senses to be present here, now, to come out of all of those thoughts. And this is a power that we have. We can do this at any time. As I mentioned, people might say to me, I don't have time. So we can do this when we're walking. I like to do it when I'm washing the dishes. That's my meditation time, getting the dishes done and also meditating. See the plate, hold the plate, hear the water, feel my feet on the floor. I normally see a tree out of my kitchen window. Smell that fairy liquid. Taste the taste that's in my mouth right now when I'm doing the dishes. And then I go back to what I can see. It stops my mind from going here, there, and everywhere. Walking, great meditation. Eating, this is how you do mindful eating. Mindfulness is just about being present. So I'd like to just enhance the message of, you know, we can take charge by giving our mind the moment to focus on. One way of doing this is using those 5 senses. And then we can also bring up those positives in our mind by remembering those positive memories as we're creating new ones, you know. Could even just be your favorite film that you watched, how that made you feel. Make a list of all those good things, make them bigger and talk about them. So I'm going to leave you with that message and hand you back over to Smita. You can find me on my page, Pam Sidhu, and I do also have 2 meditations that I've recorded on YouTube. My channel is Pam Sidhu, and they're out there for free. So, you know, you can access them, you can use them, and continue to promote good mental health.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Pam. That was amazing, really amazing. The sense of calm and peace just in those few moments that you were sharing a few techniques, you know, just applying a number, just very simple techniques transforms the experience of everything that's going on. So not to take away from the challenges that we have in life, not to take away from anything that people have experienced. But what I heard in what you were doing was that you can interrupt the cycle any moment, and you can take charge of the present such that the future, the next moments are going to be way more enriching, way more nourishing, and we're not stuck in what's gone before.
Yes, and when we can just pause, take charge, we're operating from a better place to then deal with whatever it is that we're dealing with.
Yes.
So as I said, we can't stop the waves, but we can learn how to surf.
Beautiful, absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you for sharing your skills and your expertise with us. So I think, you know, what is there to say? Now I'm hoping that people we've gone through this massive journey today. We've gone through this amazing roller coaster of emotions and you know, delving into those areas of our life that are not necessarily joy producing. And then we in between interrupted that with a little bit of a few skills and techniques given to us by our ancestors. Earlier we did some pranayama. Pranayama is also another technique to bring you straight into the moment. And where we end with is a sense of calm and peace, that life does go on, stuff happens in life, but the point is that we need to find ways of becoming more powerful in dealing with them. And that's indeed what Saroj and Sapna have been saying, is to not succumb to, not become a victim to our circumstances, but to find ways. We constantly have to train ourselves in new skills with which we can become masters of how our lives go, even in spite of things happening to us from outside, whether it's COVID, whether it's, you know, family members, whether it's, you know, even something as profound as somebody committing suicide, someone close to you. So thank you so much for that, Pam. Appreciate that. And it's a really apt place to bring some remarks, you know, on behalf of Adhar now to close our session today. And firstly, I'd really like to thank all of you involved in promoting Mental Health Day, and a very special round of thank you and applause and acknowledgement for the panel who have been generating this discussion, but also to everybody who's contributed, because your contributions are really what this program is about. It's really about you. And so I really appreciate that you brought your life experiences, your own personal situations into this conversation, whether you shared, whether you spoke, or whether you listened and allowed the contribution to be, you know, to shape what you will do going forward. Mental health affects everyone differently, and Adhar recognizes that each individual is unique. Therefore, each journey taken towards recovery will, for some, be difficult, but this is where Adhar and its staff and volunteers assist people to walk alongside them, providing as much support as possible. You need to know you are not alone. You may not necessarily know where to go to immediately, but if you look, if you ask around, you know, there's a dearth of resources that are available from where you can begin your journey of recovery. Today's program has been focused on World Mental Health Day to raise awareness of the stigma of mental health, domestic abuse and suicide for this special day. A massive thank you to Saroj, to Sapna and Maya for making this film, and for today's screening of Diary to My Son. It was deeply moving and really very powerful, something that gives a lot of food for thought to a lot of people. It's an opening for action for many people. It will help us to create more conversations and seek help. And the theme of Mental Health Day is in fact, for an organization such as Adhar, it's investment. And, you know, Girit earlier mentioned that, you know, we need to have more awareness of these organizations existing and so on. Well, he's absolutely right. And I think one of the points that Girit was trying to allude to was the fact that, you know, money, fundamental investment in raising these issues is really key. And Adhar is an organization that can benefit a huge amount from external investment. And it's vital that mental health providers and patients work together to define 2021 and beyond to ensure parity between primary and secondary care services. The event today, we hope, has been both informative and empowering for participants and for those leading the online platforms. But for many of us, mental health is not a one-day event. As one of the ladies who shared earlier mentioned in Gujarati, that, you know, she's dealing with immediate issues that we talked about today, but she's not able to share about those on a public forum. So in people's lives, you know, these issues go on. It's not just because there's a mental health day that we do something and we forget about it. It's a daily event that requires us all to be mindful in our interactions and in developing responsive services. Adhar is an excellent example of meaningful service user involvement, and alongside the investment theme, which is asking governments and others for additional funding injections, it's important that we also invest in service user involvement so that people like yourselves can actually become more involved in these organizations that provide these services, so that those that use mental health services have a say in defining and planning the future of BAME mental health provision. So once again, Girit, myself, Adhar, would like to thank everyone for joining today, for participating, and to remind the community that Adhar is only a phone call away if you need mental health support. Please don't suffer alone, ask for help. So a really big thank you to everybody, and including Josh Taylor, who is being involved in developing Adhar's new website. So I'd really like to say thank you to Josh as well. Use the website for finding out more about the services of Adhar. And thank you so much, everybody. Once again, I'd like Girit to say a few words. He's got an announcement to make. I'm keen to hear what this is. It's breaking news, Girit. Over to you. And we can't see your face fully, so if you can find a way of lowering your screen or, yeah, that's better.
Okay, thank you. Firstly, thanks to Mita for excellent comparing and hosting of this event, and summing up was excellent, so appreciate that. And you've already said thanks to Saroj and Maya, so I won't duplicate that. But the hot news is, I first take apology because I did say that we are not funded by the NHS, which we weren't up until a few days ago, but we are now been given funding to do train 4 trainee psychological wellbeing practitioners that will be targeting in schools. So they'll be working with, once they're trained, they'll get a qualification, but they'll be going into schools, working with children and young people with low levels of anxiety, stress. And we've just got the announcement early this week. So we will be recruiting 4 people, particularly from our communities, that will work in schools where they're high populated people from our communities there. So that's the first news. So that's the NHS who are providing us that funding. So,
amazing.
So that's going to be exciting for the work that we need to do in schools, particularly within our communities. The second news is we've also, thanks to the Leicester City Football Club and the Vichai Foundation, we put in a bid in early this year, just as COVID hit, and they've provided us an extra funding to do some work around sports and mental health and young people. So we've got and that was another announcement we got this week. So we've got, some good projects coming, but finally we're going to, 31st of October, please keep that date in your diary. We're going to have Pam again, but we're going to have Sandeep's story, and we're going to have Maya as well. So Maya's done another story, The Angel and the Devil, and Sandeep is somebody who I've just recently connected with, and an amazing individual as well, who's gone through some really challenges, but come out at the other end. So please keep that date in your diary. We are going to plan this event. And one last announcement, I think there's, Kamla has got an event tomorrow, so she's going to I'm just going to give her the floor for 1 minute before she tells you about the event tomorrow. And then we are using this month as promoting not just Mental Health Day today, but we're going to have a few more events throughout the month. And, Rana, who spoke earlier, he's been getting all the South Asian artists on board producing messages. So they're being powerful. So they're going to be on our website. And our new website was actually launched today. So that's really a new website which Josh has put together. So thank you again. I'm not going to take any more time. So appreciate that. So Kamla?
Yeah. I don't know if I'm supposed to share my screen, Indrani. Could you tell me?
Yes, you're on. We can see you.
Okay. Indrani, could you put the slide on rather than my face? Basically, tomorrow we're holding a peace education course on self-awareness. It's a free course and it's on Zoom. And I'm going to try and open it, and I don't know whether you'll be able to see it. Share the screen. Can you see it? We've got the details on there. It's on Zoom, and I'll just mention the Zoom ID, 560-996.
It's on the screen.
9037. And the passcode is 574711, 7 p.m. to 8:30 tomorrow. And we're also holding another event on the 18th of October. And this is about women sharing their stories historically, currently, about how resilience has shaped them. And that again is on the same Zoom meeting ID, and that is 560-996-9037. And the passcode is 574711. That's the 18th of October, 4 to 5:30. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kamla. Thank you. Appreciate that. Hope everybody got the link there. Is there any way that you can share it, Kirit? Can you share it through your WhatsApp group?
We'll share it on the WhatsApp group as well.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea because people are probably not sitting there with pens or something. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. Any last comments from anybody? I've got a few minutes left. I just want to ask Kirit, or I want to say, Saroj, would you like to say last words? Let me ask Saroj. Saroj, what would you like to say?
Yes, sorry. Just like to say that hope. I mean, the whole program that you put together was really brilliant, and I'm just last few words saying that I hope you do reach out if anyone's feeling really down or low or anything like that. Please do reach out. Please don't feel you're alone.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing your story and for the inspiration that you are sourcing from So yeah, so mute. That's better, I think. We're starting to get that background noise again. Mute somebody else. There we go. That's better. Okay, so I just want to say, Saroj and Sapna, you know, the inspiration that you are drawing from your situation on a daily basis is not only your lifeline, but perhaps the lifeline of so many other people. So I'd like to say thank you once again for joining. I'd like to say thank you to Maya for creating the documentary and for doing such an amazing job. And if Girish, would you like to say some last words as we close?
No, just again, thank you to the Adhar kind of service users as well who have kind of contributed to this event today, and the staff team and the volunteers, and thank everyone who actually joined, because everyone who joins, if they take this message out and then keep talking about it, it's about creating conversations. That's the key message, is let's continue to talk about mental health and create those conversations to break the stigma and taboo within our community. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And anybody wants to stay connected to myself, my website is smitajoshi.com, and I'm on Instagram, on Facebook, or just put via my website, you'll be able to get all of my handles, and I would love to stay connected. Thank you so much. Really appreciate. Namaste, namaskar.
Thank you. This won't be the last time we see Smita, so don't worry. We've got her for a few more sessions, so don't worry. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.